a loaded S185 cut its own engine mid-push. The panel read M0815. Nothing had broken yet. That code is engine coolant temperature shutdown. The machine chose to stop. Here's what most operators miss. There are 5 M08 codes in this machine's factory table, and they all read one thing: engine coolant temperature. 2 of them say it's hot. 1 stops you. And 2 say the reading itself can't be trusted. That last pair is where money gets wasted, because a lying sensor looks exactly like a hot engine. Same panel, same warning, completely different repair. One sends you to the cooler, the other to a connector. First, panel literacy. If more than 1 service code is present, the codes scroll across the display. The newest code sits in the number 1 position. As new ones arrive, the oldest drops off the list. So that list is a timeline. Read all of it before you clear anything, because clearing erases your evidence. We'll go mildest to worst, cheapest fix to nightmare. Start with the one that gives you the most time. M08-1A is engine coolant temperature high. It's a warning. The machine still runs, and that's the trap. It's the fuel light coming on. You've got time, you don't have permission to ignore it. Cheapest cause first, and it's the one people skip: coolant level. Check it cold, never with a hot cap. Low coolant doesn't announce itself, it just quietly gives the system less mass to carry heat away. Next cheapest, the rear cooler core pack solid with chaff, dust, and grass seed. It's the dryer lint screen you'd swear you just cleaned. Open from the front, blocked in the middle. Airflow is the whole budget. Block the fins and every other cooling part is doing fine work for nothing. Clean it gently, from the fan side out, so you push the packed debris back the way it came. Still hot? Now you're into the belt and fan drive, then a thermostat stuck closed. Worst case at this level is a water pump that's spinning but not moving much coolant. Notice the order. Each check you finish makes the next suspect more likely, so nothing gets replaced on a hunch. Now it escalates. M0811 is engine coolant temperature extremely high. Same sensor, same circuit, far less time. Nothing new is being measured. The reading just crossed the next line the controller was watching for. This is where the damage decision gets made, not by the code, by the operator who finishes the load anyway. And that's the moment I want you to picture, because it's the most expensive 20 seconds on the machine. Aluminum and iron heat at different rates. Push it hot, and the head gasket becomes the negotiation point. Get off the load. Let it idle down instead of snapping the key off. Heat still needs somewhere to go. And keep that cap shut. Hot coolant is under pressure and it doesn't come out politely. Ignore that one long enough and the machine takes the decision away from you entirely. M0815 is engine coolant temperature shutdown. Not a warning, a decision that's already been made. Here's the aha. 1 sensor, 3 responses. Warn harder, stop. Same signal, escalating consequence. If that just made the panel readable instead of scary, that's exactly what this channel is for. Stick around. The shutdown code is also a gift. You now have proof a real heat event happened, and roughly when. Restarting resets the code path, not the physics. Nothing under that hood got cooler because you turned the key. So after a shutdown, coolant and cooler core first, wiring second. That order saves you an afternoon. But here's where it flips. Everything I just described assumes the sensor is telling the truth. M0821 is engine coolant temperature out of range high, and that sentence doesn't mean the engine is hot. It means the signal coming back is outside the window. The controller will accept as a real temperature. It's the fuel gauge sitting past full after $10 a diesel. The number isn't wrong, it's impossible. The sensor is basically a resistor that changes with heat. The controller watches voltage and does the math. Short that circuit or open it, and the voltage lands somewhere no actual temperature could ever produce. Cheapest cause, the connector at the sensor. Not locked in or green inside where you can't see. The manual is blunt about this. Check that connectors are locked and check pins for being pushed back or bent. A pushed back pin still touches. Sometimes. It's the charging cable that only works if you hold it at one angle. Then grounds. Corroded or loose grounds cause symptoms all over the machine, so check grounds and positive leads. Also check for loose spade connectors in the fuse holder. That's a 5-minute look that solves real problems. After that, harness chafe near anything hot or moving, and only then the sensor itself. And here's the tell that saves you, an out-of-range code at key on before the engine could possibly be hot. A cold machine can't be overheating. If it says so anyway, you're chasing wire, not water. The mirror image is My22, engine coolant temperature out-of-range low. Same logic, opposite direction. The reading fell under the window, colder than the sensor can physically report, which means it isn't reporting. Same suspects, opposite failure. An open circuit instead of a short, usually right where the harness flexes. Cold mornings expose it. Stiff insulation, one strand left in a wire, and the reading drops off a cliff. This is the snaky one, and it's the reason I saved it for last in the family. The gauge looks fine. Cold even. Nobody walks across a yard because a machine says it's cold. But if the controller can't read temperature, it can't protect you when the temperature is genuinely climbing. The shutdown that saved your engine last month is only available if the signal is honest. So the harmless-looking code is the one quietly disabling the safety net. That's not the strange part, though. The strange part is how simply you can separate all five with one comparison and almost no tools. Ask two questions. Does the reading behave like real heat? And does it change when you touch the harness? Real heat is lazy. It climbs under load, holds, and falls slowly at idle. It has momentum. A wiring fault has none. It appears instantly, or flickers exactly when you wiggle the connector. So wiggle it. Engine running, hands on the harness near the sensor, watching the panel while you do it. Then get independent proof. Point an infrared thermometer at the thermostat housing and read the metal itself. Metal hot, panel screaming hot, the sensor is honest, and you have a genuine cooling problem. Metal barely warm, panel screaming anyway. The sensor path is lying and the coolant was never the issue. That one comparison sorts the entire M08 family into two piles. Fix the cooling or fix the circuit. Now a warning that matters more than any single code. You've probably noticed the endings repeating across families. Don't build yourself a legend out of that. The factory table lists every code with its own meaning. Code systems change between machine generations. An assumed pattern gets you replacing the wrong part very confidently. Read the code, look it up in the table, then diagnose. That order never costs you anything. And if several codes scroll at once, read every one of them before you touch a wrench. A heat code and an out-of-range code together on the same circuit tells you where to start immediately. Because one is describing reality and the other is describing a wire, they can't both be right. Here's the family in one line. 3 codes describe heat escalating, 2 describe a signal the controller won't believe. Tell them apart before you spend money by asking one thing. Does the metal agree with the panel? Do that and you stop replacing sensors on machines that were truly overheating and stop flushing systems that were fine. The exact specs, the resistance values, and the full code table are in the service manual, linked below. Subscribe if you'd rather diagnose than guess. The hydraulic oil temperature codes are next, and they fail differently. Like this, if it saved you a guess, and subscribe for daily diagnostics. Now go check those pins.